I give you all my blessings on this International Peace Day. Understand, it is we Hindus need to keep the global peace as a living possibility, and we need to make this global peace as reality. Just talking about global peace will not work. Working for global peace only is the responsibility of the real living Hindu. Anyone who wants to claim themselves as a Hindu or practicing Hindu should work for global peace. Global peace is our responsibility. Hindus have the responsibility to bring global peace. So you can also throw a challenge. See, if you are making a Hindu micronation, you can throw this challenge to each one, your friends, family, 10 people. Let them participate in the challenge and then let them send a challenge to others. So I welcome all the living and practicing Hindus to become founding fathers of Kailasa micronation in your countries. You can also make a challenge, like how they made ice bucket challenge and all that. We can make a challenge. You form Hindu micronation and claim, I am the founding father of the Hindu micronation Kailasa. And then you can invite your family, friends for a challenge, 11 people. You form and you challenge 11 people and they also form and they spread. So let us start spreading. This project is my message on this International Day of Peace. Let us start working for global peace instead of just talking. What the work we do will talk for us. The talk we do will not work for us. This is the message. The work we do will talk for us. The talk we do will not work for us. Global peace is the responsibility of Hindus. We living, practicing Hindus, not only we should achieve the individual peace through unclutching, yoga, meditation, we should also create an ecosystem where the global peace starts manifesting. This Kailasa Hindu micronation is the enlightenment ecosystem. I request every living practicing Hindu to manifest, do it. So the global peace can manifest from these Kailasa Hindu micronations all over the world.
Then you can do. Yes, you can join our COVID Care Protection Center. You can register through the link kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to experience conscious sovereignty in this ongoing pandemic. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has established these de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa opened their doors to one and all unconditionally for you all to experience complete protection, safety, as well as the conscious breakthrough that each one of us is striving for. So do not miss this opportunity. Please register in kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. KAILASA.org/KAILASACARE. So let's take a few minutes to join the COVID Care Protection Center by registering in this link below.
Nityanandam. And now we move to the next segment, which is Kailasa's mission of global peace and conscious breakthrough, how the sovereign order of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the Nityananda order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora, are working for global peace and to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. It is the mission of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to revive a conscious world where the global issues at the climatic, economic, social, health, and humanitarian levels cease to exist from their very root, turning the problems of poverty, hunger, violence, discrimination into powerful living through the experience of oneness. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been working from the very grassroots level to usher in an era of peace at all levels: individual, societal, national, and global. His deep insights into the workings of the human mind body, emotions have enabled him to powerfully and directly address various social and emotional problems facing humanity today. Some of the ways that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism provides spiritual solutions to combat the pandemic and other issues. Since the beginning of the global lockdown, the amount of contribution and by starting the Akhanda Nirvikalpa Samadhi Jnana Yajna and contributing almost 3 million minutes till date, Paramashiva Sankalpa chanting, which is a chanting of the Sanskrit mantra and which is meant for healing, which is done 24/7 via Zoom sessions online. Spiritual healing to one and all provided 24/7, helping humanity cope up with insecurity, fear, disease by empowering individuals to heal themselves, learn to cope up with emotions like depression and tough situations in relationships, providing alternative solutions to worldly problems through power manifestation, initiating thousands every day into manifesting innate superhuman capabilities through the courtyard sessions, providing healthy solutions like a technique to clear the stomach from the Ayurveda solutions, which ultimately bring clarity to the spiritual truths and give a conscious breakthrough, and in the long term, establish self-sufficient communities. Continuing and intensifying the service of Annadan in Nityananda Annalayas around the world, including Tiruvannamalai and Los Angeles, paving the way with the new world order, starting the agriculture based communities in Adi Kailasa and several other locations. Peacekeepers of Kailasa offering various life solutions from the teachings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, offering Maheshwara Puja to the natural calamity hit victims, Bhava Samadhi Darshan to raise the individual conscious breakthrough, Devi Parashakti readings, the cosmic revelations, and specifically the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism spiritual solutions for COVID 19. Society was created with delusional ideas of too many human beings' blind spots and the decisions made from those blind spots. If the visionary of a civilization or country or nation has blind spots, when he develops the vision for it, the whole civilization suffers those blind spots forever. Now it is time that nature, Prakriti, resets itself. Many of the blind spots based visions, ideas became important components of the society. This pralaya which is happening is melting down everything which is delusion based. The world as we know is gone. Let us celebrate God. This isolation, which is seemingly endless with an unknown future, which is compelling humanity to make a 100% lifestyle change, is something to be deeply dwelled upon. All problems need to be addressed only with spiritual solutions and powerful cognitions to stop people having mental breakdown, pandemic fatigue, collapsing, depression, destruction, and also give them superconscious breakthrough and revive the enlightened civilization. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is continuously giving spiritual solutions and powerful cognitions. These include unclutching, practicing completion, practicing oneness, practicing ajapa japa of Mahavakya on Om Nityananda Paramashivoham, consciously building deep feeling connection, yoga, puja, vegetarian sattvic diet, nirahara samyama, and a whole slew of such powerful techniques and truths. It is time we all take the responsibility to save humanity, to protect people from pandemic fatigue and destruction. Let us try to enrich and enrich people for every one of these great spiritual solutions. And doing so, we can have people enroll for the various online sessions that are being conducted by various peacekeepers of Kailasa, giving each and every one the enrich to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the ultimate truths revealed by him. And these solutions for COVID 19 are free and open for all. And we can actually invite every one of them to various of these sessions, including the Paramashivoham classes, to help people tide over this pandemic and enable them to take the leap into superconsciousness. People from over 50 countries are continuously radiating the space of Paramashiva by practicing the unclutching meditation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And many such peace initiatives have been taken by Kailasa. The life solutions based on the ancient Hindu tradition, the meditation and yoga techniques from the scriptures, the cognitions rooted in the highest truths, the lifestyle based on living and radiating the higher values of life, and powerful way of living and realizing one's ultimate potential form the foundation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's teachings, which by their inherent nature provide the foundation for peace on planet Earth. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism launched the minutes meditations around the world in parallel. In 2014, just after 2 years of launching the program, it crossed over 1 billion minutes of meditation. Scientific studies have shown a reduced crime rate after participation in the meditation and completion techniques. In 1976, it was found that when 1% of a community practiced meditation, the crime rate was reduced by 16% on average. The current tally on the Minutes for Peace website is more than 4.3 billion cumulative minutes of meditation logged, including all the events, programs, festivals where people have gathered in large numbers and participated in meditations and rituals. The total count comes to a staggering 409 billion minutes of peace so far. About 5,000 devotees gathered and participated in a 48-day meditation program called Shuddhadvaitam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism hosted the Kumbh Mela, USA, in Los Angeles since 2007. Nityananda Sangha is interested as the only organization to host the Kumbh Mela outside India by the Akhil Bharatiya Akhada Parishad. In September 2006, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized the first confluence for world peace to honor the memory of those who lost their lives saving others on September 11, 2001 at Irvine, California, USA. The second confluence for peace was held in Los Angeles in 2007 in collaboration with Vedanta Society, BAPS, ISKCON, Siddha Yoga, and other organizations. The Kumbh Mela festival spread fast to other countries, including Australia, Canada, etc. In 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized a month-long peace walk covering 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 villages to bring together in harmony from all walks of life. To promote Pontiff of Hinduism has conducted large-scale collective meditations on September 21st, International Peace Day, to raise the collective. Sannyas is our social responsibility. Let us save Hinduism and humanity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revitalized the monastic tradition of sannyas by initiating hundreds of people into the Nityananda monastic order. The all-renouncing monks contribute the best things and human civilization, living their life with the cognition life is for others. These monks and nuns act as harbingers of peace and empowerment for the human society, distraught with violence, depression, and other forms of life negativity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also revived the ancient practice of embarking on pilgrimages, which are spiritual journeys, taking spiritual aspirants to high energy sacred spots like the Himalayas, Kailash, Varanasi, Angkor Wat, and various powerful temples of India. Even though prevalent in India, this practice is rapidly losing its original context, turning more into a recreational family vacation. Reviving the original spiritual context, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made it possible for modern day human beings to benefit from the spiritual energy present at these centers and accelerate their journey of spiritual evolution, hence ensuring individual and collective peace as a natural consequence. The food systems hold the key to ending world hunger, is what the UN Environment Program says. The effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the UN has noted a dramatic increase in world hunger. According to the State of Food Security and Nutrition in the world, 1/10 of the global population, as many as 811 million people, were undernourished in 2020, an increase of 118 million from 2019. According to the EAT Lancet Commission, moving toward diets with a diversity of plant-based foods, low amounts of animal source foods, unsaturated rather than saturated fats, and limited amounts of refined grains, highly processed foods, and added sugars could prevent between 19 and 24% of all adult deaths each year. The No Hunger Project, Red Home, launched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashiva, through Annalayas, that is food donation centers, the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa worldwide, under the guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, have served over 2 million organic, sattvic, vegetarian meals so far. Giving free food to all the citizens is the economic policy of Kailasa, deriving the reference from Vedas and Agamas. Recently, the humanitarian initiative launched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the opening of Kailasa COVID care centers in India, where the monastery campuses have been turned into a multi-layer quarantine facility to safeguard the inmates against any possible point of contact with the outer world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened this service free to all people, regardless of any differences in age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, or socioeconomic status. Food, shelter, internet, and all basic facilities, including medical care, are provided at these COVID care centers, free of cost and for an indefinite time. The outcome has been a splendid zero infection rate so far among the participants, a feat not achieved anywhere else in the world, let alone in India. This response model of handling the COVID 19 pandemic at a community level, along with guidelines and recommendations for governments, has been recognized and accepted by the United Nations as well. One can see here the COVID Care Center participants enjoying life at one of the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa, which is at Adi Kailasa in Bangalore, enjoying a healthy, blissful, and spiritual lifestyle in the multi layered protection, enjoying a stress free time following temple seva, paraseva, and celebrating festivals. The Varalakshmi Puja at Adi Kailasa, and the female devotees offering puja to Goddess Lakshmi and listening to the Mahima. And Ganesha Brahmotsavam celebrated with a lot of fervor and enthusiasm, including modeling of Ganesha, making hand making the Ganeshas of various forms, and for experiencing all this, the COVID 19 pandemic, which is consuming practically everyone in the outer world, you can register now through the link https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. So let's take a few minutes now to register ourselves for the COVID Care Protection Center by logging in to this link and registering ourselves. let's move into the next segment, which is the revival of the temple science and the ecosystems based on this temple science. Now, in the times when the COVID 19 is rampant and the ancient temples are in a lockdown because of the risk of widespread corona disease, the devotees of these temples were visiting and having darshan of their gods and goddesses for thousands of years have now lost access to the same. Yet all these ancient sacred sentiments have come to a harming halt after the lockdowns have taken place. The religious fervor of the devotees is being lost due to the pandemic. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the e-Kailasa ecosystem and bringing all the ancient traditions of the online platforms on Kailasa TV, YouTube, and Facebook. Here, let us watch an excerpt of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explaining about the science of temples. And after having understood the science of temples, just a glimpse on the revelations to the world by Devi Parashakti. 12th May 2021, Devi revealed they have to live, it has to flower. Few hypocrites because they are stuck in delusion. We cannot sacrifice the world. Cosmos cannot be destroyed. The ship I did to save cosmos from being destroyed, that is called Adi Kailasa. The ship I did to protect beings from Pralaya is Adi Kailasa. Because of conspiracy of Drohis and enemies' rule, the captain has to leave the ship. Before 12 years, knowing the great deluge that is going to happen, all Aushadhas, by this Guru Purnima, that Jnana Rasavadam, Navapashana, is going to flower. Allow people to come and take dip in Navapashana flower. People, whoever come and dip in Vaidyasarovar, they will not have deaths. They will not have corona. Crores and crores of people will come in line. Every day they will come and dip in Anandalingam. Listen well to my words. For India, I made ship as protection. The Nityananda Navapashana Lingam and Vaidyasarovar. Go to Adi Kailasa. O Indians, listen. All those regretting losing Nityananda Nijavatara, without confusion and without talking just as lip service, go to Adi Kailasa. Crores of people will come there looking for health, Navapashana, water feast, and medicine, to get health and protection and enlightenment. To protect India from the great destruction, I, Parashakti, made this huge ship. Even if captain is not there, ship is there. Deadly corona. I myself will do all of their life work. This is a commitment Paramashakti is giving you all. Parameshwari, I will do what I say. To save people from corona, I have set up a huge ship, Ananda Sarovar, Vaidya Sarovar, and Anandalingam. I have made it in Adi Kailasa. Go there, take water every day. The doors of Adi Kailasa will be open for all those who come with trust. It will protect. It will protect body and will give conscious health. It will also give highest powers. Dharma, Artha, Moksha, Jnana, powers, Kama, and the God beyond Kama. Adi Kailasa life will give all goodness. The hell of Kiri Bhojanam mentioned by Vyasa in Garuda Purana as thunder. Running to Adi Kailasa and preventing it is the only way. I have opened Adi Kailasa. For those who want to save their lives, all of you run to Adi Kailasa. 11th June, she further revealed, drop the foolish mind with business motive of bargaining and attain surrender and go to Adi Kailasa. Be in Adi Kailasa, I will do good to you. 18th June, she said, for saving your life, go to Adi Kailasa. Best life is there. Before corona takes your life away, go to Adi Kailasa and save your life. 5th July, Devi revealed, the soil of Adi Kailasa is a Sarvaroga Nivarani, the cure for all diseases, in the world. Paramashakti, myself, taking the form of Nityananda as Nijavatara, walking there barefoot for many years, manifesting all powers, the very soil was converted into great medicine that solves all karmas. Taking the soil of Adi Kailash and mixing it with the water of Navapashana Lingam of Vaidyasarovar, and by applying it, all pains will vanish. Breaking the attachment to body, it will make you enlightened. Goodness is there. I told the truth. Go to Adi Kailash. And today, when the first world countries close their borders during a free COVID care centers opened across India include Adi Kailasa in Bidadi, Bangalore, Salem Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Tiruvannamalai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Rajapalayam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Puduvai Adinam in Puducherry, Pattanam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Siragapadi Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Sripuram Adinam in Hyderabad, Madurai Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Avattipalayam Adinam in Tamil Nadu, Hosur Adinam in Tamil Nadu, and Baroda Adinam in Gujarat. And Kailasa rushes to aid India as India finds itself on the verge of the COVID-19 third wave. Multiple free COVID care centers opened across. Spiritual services and humanitarian services have been offered in all the de facto spiritual embassies across India. And at the core of all this is the support provided by the cosmic revelations on the global pandemic by Devi Parashakti and Bhagwan Iranath Sundareshwara. The free social services, humanitarian services offered during the pandemic in the de facto spiritual embassies across India include medical care in the form of allopathy, Ayurveda, Siddha medicine, infrastructure to accommodate thousands, accommodation for the multi-layered quarantine, emergency ambulances and ICU on wheels, personal protective medical equipment, food security management through food banks, and organic farming. And to remind all of us once again, join the COVID Care Protection Center by registering now through the link below, https://kailasa.org/kailasacare.
Most easiest, most powerful, most inspiring, most exciting way to connect with life as the form of mother. Navaratri is the time to connect with Cosmos as mother. Celebrate Cosmic Mother. This 9 days we worship Mother, worshiping.
Om Kali, Om Shakti, Om Kali, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti.
There are some gods, 9 unknown gods. The moment you call, they will be there. Venkateshwara, Balaji. I tell you, people give so much for Venkateshwara because he does the job. He's a 9 unknown god. There's a village full story where the depth, Venkateshwara takes the responsibility of reserve to reserve. This whole story, beautiful story of Venkateshwara is an amazing concept. He is making Yaksha into Lakshmi. He is making the reserve to reserve. It's an amazing truth.
Here is the Australia Kailasa. How can I be so lucky? And my guru is His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashiva, since I was very little, I already wonder what life for. I really want to know the result, the reason. A long time ago, I think if I earn enough money, I will be very happy person, and then life is for happy. I tried to earn money, and then I really rich, but money didn't give me happy. Then I tried to get the happy life in romantic love. Then the really romantic love take me go lots of place. Too many stories during this time, but I still don't feel I get the result, get the life reason. Then I start, and when I study Buddha, that time I really appreciate Buddha gives so much intelligence to me about life. But I don't think study is enough for me. I want to be Buddha, but I don't know how. Who can let me get there? One day I find the video in YouTube. Wow, I get it. He must be my guru. I can get there. He can let me get what I want to know. And he can take me home, real home. This kind of feeling, then I start study from Nityananda Sangha. One day, Swami Jisasang said he need people devote land, home, money to build up Kailasa, because both of us believe help Swamiji means help whole world. It's a big decision, but we just discussed so short time already. Done, decide. I really appreciate my husband love me so much and believe me, trust Swamiji so much. Soon here will be big temple, Gurukul, Goshena, and library. Introduce this my story to you, just me. Don't give up any chance to be founding father of Kailasa. It's the best thing you can do in your life.
Just be alive for next.
Nityanam, everyone. So now, Paramashiva Sayoji Samadhi Darshan at 10:30 p.m. IST, which is 10 o'clock Pacific time. So now we will be entering into the preparations into the Sundareshwara Bhava Samadhi Darshan. So you today can manifest the superconscious energy of the Sahaji Samadhi Darshan of Erinar Sundareshwara Parameshwara Paramburu. So you can now get ready to witness the rare and unique powerful initiation into the God equation in you to make the human being into multiverse species by Sundareshwara Paramashiva. So now let us watch a video.
Oh, shave, shave, shave. Paramashiva, I will manifest the physics of my existence. Cognize this in your Hridaya Akasha, the Gandha. You will experience my existence uncountable by any visualized assumed mathematics. Manifest in me, exist in me, get rejuvenated in me, get deluded inside me. Gets liberated. Countless Brahmandas to exist, to get created, to get sustained, to get rejuvenated, to get deluded, to get liberated. I am the space.
Yes, so let us see what Sundaresh revealed exactly. So he says, I will manifest the physics of my existence. You will experience my existence. Sundareshwara Parameshwara. The countless, uncountable by any visualized, assumed mathematics, Brahmandas manifest in me, exist in me, get rejuvenated in me, get deluded inside me, gets liberated inside me. For all the countless Brahmandas to exist, to get created, to get sustained, to get rejuvenated, to get deluded, to get liberated, I am the space. And all of us know that during this time, especially for the past 1.5 to 2 years due to this pandemic, and even before that, the world is going through a lot of suffering. And according to the United Nations, a new scientific report was published, and it says the scientific report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change warns that we are on a crash course towards catastrophe if global temperatures are allowed to rise. The window to slow or even halt some of these worsening impacts is rapidly closing. And the message is clear: we must take action now. So now let us watch a small video on the state of the world today.
In 2019, fire was spreading throughout our planet, quite literally, in places like Australia and the Amazon basin, where forest blazes supercharged by climate change wreaked havoc. In other places, mass protests flared up, fueled by a combination of job insecurity, growing inequalities, and discontent with the current economic, social, and environmental status quo. The economy has slowed down globally, stifled by trade tensions and political uncertainty. The little growth we have had has failed to reach those who need it the most. Progress towards higher living standards has stalled for many countries and vulnerable groups of people. This has only deepened inequalities which were already growing in many countries, spurred on by automation, climate change, and other global trends.
Yes, so that was a small video on how our world is today. Here you can see a few pictures of you. And according to the World Health Organization, the WHO, the total cases globally for COVID-19 is 221 billion plus per day. And Healthline.com states that new COVID-19 cases have risen to more than 150,000 per day in the United States. And experts warn that with emerging variants, it could lead to another surge in cases. And it is at this time of crisis that Bhagavan Sundareshwara has come down to earth with such extreme compassion for humanity. He states, "O bound souls, listen intensely. Your impossibility and irresponsibility made you surrender yourself to the delusion. Cognize the ultimate truth. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, I exist. Sundareshwara Paramashiva, I exist. The moment you remember me, call me, I am here for you." So whenever you just call Bhagavan Sundareshwara, he will be there for you. And Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva is the greatest and unique manifestation of Paramashiva as the complete manifestation. He assumes the subtle light, but he assumes the physical subtle and light bodies as and deletes anything in the physical plane as and when he likes without even a reason, just for fun. And sometimes they manifest as Meenakshi and Sundareshwara as two bodies and one being, and sometimes as both in one body. That is the reason all his manifestations and plays are called the Thiruvilayadu, the Leela, the divine Leelas. And due to his causeless and limitless compassion, Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu is manifesting in all his glory as the Purna Avatara through the being of Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam as the Nija Avatara. And from the Shuddhadvaita Paramashiva Sayuji Samadhi space, Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramburu will be manifesting through this supreme manifestation of Irayanar Sundareshwara, his divine Leelas. And Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself has come down again in the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Maha Sannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, just to continue his legacy and Leela. And to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine Leelas, performing miracles in the life of all his devotees, attending to our prayers, and continuing the legacy as the ruler of the whole Madurai, the Shyamala Pita Savanyapitham. He has come down as the 293rd Jagat Guru Maha Sannidhanam and as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to guide the whole of humanity. And when we have the darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara, when you just witness the darshan, your neurons will mirror that of the avatar. And the mirroring of neurons activate the process of all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing. So that is, our entire body can silently avatar. And as an effect of the mirroring of neurons, all the powerful cognitions and powers of Bhagavan Sundareshwara is mirrored and awakened in you. So you can just exhale intensely whatever you have, and Paramashiva will inhale in you. And that is the God equation. Nothing is more powerful than power manifestation science. It is the most exciting spiritual science. When you decide to manifest powers again and again and again, you know Paramashiva is within you. He is manifesting in you. You will fall in love with Paramashiva every minute. If he manifests, if he is if he manifests, you know he is real and he is understanding. And the possibilities and powers of Paramashiva will manifest in you. So now, let us have a small introduction of who exactly the Supreme Point of Hinduism is. The one who is giving us this pure and great science of the Paramashiva Sayuji Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Sundareshwara and is embodying Bhagavan Sundareshwara. So the Supreme Point of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva, is also the 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonata Shyamala Pita Sarvagna and is the reviver of Kailasa, a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilization and nation. The Supreme Point of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. The Supreme Point of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based sciences a lifestyle for humanity. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism is ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhan of Kanchi Kailash Sarvagna Peetham. Then is also the incumbent emperor of Suryavamsha Saranga Samrajyam and is also the present 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonata Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Peetham and the present Mahamandaleshwar of the Mahanirvani Akara, which is the largest apex monastic order. So here you can see a few pictures where ever since from a very young age, the Supreme Point of Hinduism is being trained and to be ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Kanchi Kailash Sarvagna Peetham. And here you can see the Supreme Point of Hinduism energizing the deities as the incumbent emperor of Suryavamsha Saranga Samrajyam. And here you can see the Supreme Point of Hinduism being coronated as the incumbent emperor of Suryavamsha Saranga Samrajyam. And here you can see the Supreme Point of Hinduism being coordinated as the 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Kailasonata Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Peetham, which was established by Paramashiva himself and revived by the incarnates of Paramashiva, which is Bhagavan Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi. And you can also see here the Supreme Point of Hinduism being coordinated as the Mahamandaleshwar of the Mahanirvani Akada. So you can see all the ways, all the other sadhus and sannyasis of the Mahanirvani Akada are coordinating the Supreme Point of Hinduism as the Mahamandaleshwar. And the Supreme Point of Hinduism is also the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar of the Atalakad, which was established by Mahaganapati himself. And the present 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti Swagapurumadina. And in 2015 was elected as the Supreme Point of Hinduism by a congregation of over 10,000 leaders. And here you can see a few more pictures of supreme point of Hinduism, reviving the sciences of Hinduism. And the supreme point of Hinduism is also revered as a teacher of Hinduism, the most prolific, most viewed, read, and watched. He has authored 300 books and 10,000 articles in 3 different languages, which are English, Tamil, and Sanskrit. And these have been translated into 50 languages with over 1,000 titles. And over 20 million copies of these books and articles have been sold, read, and downloaded by millions around the world. And the supreme point of Hinduism has lives digitally and is respected as a commentator of all sacred scriptures such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva Sutras, Brahma Sutras, Yoga Sutras, Ashtavakra Gitas, Jain Sutras, and much more. The supreme point of Hinduism is also honored as a leader of Hinduism, the most awarded, internationally recognized Hindu leader, the reviver of 108 ancient Hindu sampradayas, including the Rudrakanyas, and is the establisher of the largest Hindu university, Kailasas Nityananda Hindu University, in the world with satellite campuses in 150 countries. And he's also the establisher of 1,000 plus Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems, the founder and reviver of over 100 Sarvagya Pitas, and is the collector of the largest Hindu library with over 1 million books, 1 million palm leaf scriptures, and over 20 million digital books. And here you can see all the spiritual de facto embassies revived by the Supreme Point of Hinduism and contributed by the Supreme Point of Hinduism to humanity. So you can see 22 Hindu universities, 186 extended campuses of then 38 temple monastery complexes, 2,175 Paramashiva Sena shakas, 1,898 youth centers, 19 Hindu kingdoms, the Sarvagya Pitams, and 25 e-Kailasas, 1,898 ASAP centers, 120 Hindu temples, and 5,334 healing centers, 22 food banks, 12 animal shelters, 34 satsang temples, 418 Paduka mandirs, and 2,175 satsang centers. And here you can also see the Supreme Point of Hinduism peace walks, covers over 100,000 plus kilometers, and gifts to gift the science of healing to 2 million plus human settlements and much more. So here you can see throughout the years, many yatras have been done by the Supreme Point of Hinduism to enrich and heal and guide humanity. And Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramguru is the manifestation of the beauty of the cosmos in flesh and bones. Irayanar Sundareshwara is the embodiment of the superconsciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. And Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva Paramguru is the complete manifestation of Paramashiva, who assumes the physical, subtle, and light bodies as and when he wants to play his divine leelas and his divine manifestations. He plays with all the physical realities and corrects, alters, intervenes, influences, changes, adds, and deletes anything in the physical plane as he likes without even a reason. And Irayanar Sundaresh Sundareshwara is the embodiment of the superconsciousness expressed in the human body, playing with all his glory. He came down as the most handsome form, the most and the kingdom of Madurai, which is known as the Kailasana Shyamala Peetham, is the oldest Hindu papal state and enlightenment ecosystem that was established by Paramashiva himself. And the kingdom of Madurai was later revived by Lord Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi, who, as the deities and incarnates of Paramashiva, ruled over Madurai and revived the foundation pillars of it as the highest living stream of spiritual sciences. And ensure that this tradition continues to elevate humanity for millennia. They enthroned their direct representatives and their divine energies in the form of a continuous lineage of living masters, the Guru Mahasanidhanams, with the responsibility to train and groom the kings in administration, constitution, and governance, acting as regents. And they also performed the spiritual initiations on the kings and the citizens of the kingdom, imparting the enlightened knowledge to them. And the lineage of Parameshwara is beautifully explained as in a verse, and it says that this supreme discipline of Adishaiva tradition has been coming down through the continuous lineage of Guru disciple, Adishaiva Guru Parampara, from time immemorial. And this has been formulated as the attainment of complete liberation from the repeated phenomenon of life, of birth and death. This is supreme in its kind and concerned with the ultimate benefit of all souls. And the Kailasvanata Shyamala Pita Sarvagya Pitam's rare and sacred lineage of pontiffs has been systematically carried over with an unbroken progression from ages. And the chosen emissaries of Lord Parameshwara and Devi are the Guru Mahasanidhanams of the Kailasvanata Shyamala Pita Sarvagya Pitam, and they are the direct representatives of the cosmos. And on the 27th of April 2012, Srila Sri Nityananda Sri Jnana Sambandha Deshika Paramacharya Swamigal was formally appointed as the 293rd Guru Mahasanidhanam of Kailasvanata Shyamala Pita Sarvagya Pitam and is the lawful successor, descendant, and inheritor invested with all the powers, duties, obligations to perform the religious, spiritual, and religious rituals, spiritual and religious and as customary rites vested in the Kailasvanata Shyamala Pita Sarvagya Pitam. And he has been reviving its spiritual, religious, and linguistic epicenters to its original glory. So now let us watch a video on the history of the Kailasvanata Shyamala Pita Sarvagya Pitam of the Madurai Adini.
The ancient temple town of Madurai in southern India boasts of a 2,500-year-old history of spirituality. Historians trace Madurai's existence back to the 3rd century BC, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities of the world. Legend says that Madurai was established by the cosmic mother herself, who incarnated as Princess Meenakshi, daughter of the pious king Malayadwaja Pandian. An able queen and a fearless warrior, Meenakshi expanded her empire right up to Kailash in current China. But when she came face to face with the Lord of Kailash, Shiva himself, she recognized him as her eternal consort and dropped her arms to become Shiva's companion for life.
Along with Shiva, also known as Sundareshwara or the beautiful Lord, Meenakshi reigned over her kingdom for a glorious 166 years.
In course of time, with the rise of Jainism as a religious force, Madurai too fell to its powerful influence and Shaivism all but vanished from the sacred kingdom where Shiva himself had once walked the earth. The renaissance of Shaivism in Madurai, a tradition. The story goes that as a baby, Tirunjana Sambandar was once nourished by the milk of enlightenment from the cosmic mother herself. This child prodigy arrived in Madurai to effortlessly defeat the learned Jain monks with his wisdom, healing powers, and spiritual prowess, and restored Madurai to her beloved religion, Shaivism, by reviving the ancient Madurai Adinam and the Meenakshi temple, which had fallen to desolate ruin. Madurai Adinam is today the world's oldest living Hindu organization, with a recorded history alone spanning a glorious 1,500 years and an unbroken lineage of illustrious pontiffs to this very day. Over the centuries, Madurai Adinam has been patronized by the likes of Tipu Sultan, Robert Nobili, and the poet saint Vallalar. The pontiff of the Madurai Adinam is known by the title Guru Mahasannidhanam and inherits the responsibility of carrying forward the traditions of Tirunjana Sambandar's sacred work.
On 27th April 2012, a new era began in the history of Madurai Adinam. The 292nd pontiff, Srila Sri Arunagirinatha Jnana Sambandha Desika Paramacharya Swamigal, guided by intuition and inducement by Lord Shiva, coronated a charismatic young saint as the 293rd pontiff of the Madurai Adinam.
An accomplished yogi, a pragmatic social visionary, and an adept in mystical sciences. His Holiness Paramahamsa Nityananda is revered as a divine incarnation by millions worldwide. Within weeks of his ascent to the sacred throne, he brought about sweeping changes to the Adinam, including the renovation of the ancient monastery, Annadan, free food for thousands every day, free medical camps, yoga classes, scriptural study, spiritual healing, and meditation programs, the traditional Adi, and two-way video conferencing. Vast properties belonging to the Adinam are being reclaimed from illegal encroachment. Its numerous temples are being restored to sanctity, and the neighboring villages are being adopted, with basic amenities, education, and medical care being provided for all. His Holiness dreams of an authentic Vedic Renaissance, for which India has already waited too long.
Here, I take the commitment of making Madurai Adinam as an international religious organization. We will fulfill all the responsibilities of Madurai Adinam, make Hindu tradition, Saiva tradition alive, revived, lived, celebrated all over the world.
With a brand new pontiff at its helm, Madurai Adinam promises to be more than just another traditional monastery, as a whole generation turns to spirituality for answers. The changes at Madurai Adinam mirror the changing role of spiritual organizations today as power centers and guiding forces, forging the enlightened government of the new world.
श्रीविद्यां शिववामभागनिलया ह्रीङ्कारमन्त्रोज्ज्वला श्रीचक्राङ्कितबिम्ब.
And today, for all of humanity, out of the billions of people around the world on planet Earth, we are the most blessed people. As far as Sundareshwara is not a history, but he is happening physically in our lives. Sundareshwara Parameshwara himself has come down again in the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Shri Nityananda Parameshwara, as Swamiji, who is the 1000th incarnation of Parameshwara to revive Hinduism and to continue being available to all of us, playing his divine leelas, performing miracles in the life of all his devotees, attending to our prayers, and continuing the legacy as the ruler of the whole Madurai. Sundareshwara has come down as the 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam and as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to guide the whole of humanity. And Parameshwara assumed the physical form 11 times to in Madurai just to perform his divine leelas. And each action becomes a divine energy. And yes, so each action that was performed by Parameshwara became a divine energy, and each of that becomes an independent entity. So if you connect with that energy, he gives you the same blessing. So understand that Sundareshwara is the energy of Leela, playfulness. So now let us look at one of the Leelas of where Sundareshwara does the Leela of healing the Pandyan king's fever. So Sundareshwara has 64 Leelas in the compilation of all his Leelas, the Tiruvilayadu. And the Tiruvilayadu Puranam is a collection of 64 Leelas from the 16th century, where it is a Shaivite devotional epic written by Paranjyoti Munga. And they describe the actions of Bhagavan Parameshwara on earth in a number of disguises to test his devotees. So each of Sundareshwara's dimensions is recorded as one of his Leelas. And in the Vedic tradition, we actually have 64 different arts. And each leader, a complete being, has to master the 64 arts. And in that, even horse riding is one, as of painting, mastery of dance, singing, everything is one Leela. And each Leela of Sundareshwara proves his mastery in each and every one of these 64 arts. And there was never ever such an amazing imagination or visualization. Now let us see one of the Leelas in this segment. But before that, let us watch a small video where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism speaks on the Shiva Leelas.
Let us start today's satsang. In Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, 32nd verse.
एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः विताथा ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्दितान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे
Evam Bahuvitaha Yajnaha Vitata Brahmano Mukhe Karmajan Viddidan Sarvan Evam Jnatva Vimokshase. Translation: thus worship of the divine energies is performed in various ways. In the beginning of expansion, understand that all of them originate in action. Sri Krishna is revealing some of the mystical secrets. How various divine energies come into existence, how by connecting with them your expansion is possible. Please understand, one example I wanted to give. Brahma, in Hindu stories, Hindu Purana, Brahma becomes egoistic. So, Shiva's extension comes out as Kala Bhairava and cuts Brahma's head, removes the ego of Brahma and makes Brahma enlightened. This action, Shiva's energy coming out and removing the ego of Brahma and making him enlightened, this action becomes Kala Bhairava. So when you connect with Kala Bhairava and start worshipping the divine energy called Kala Bhairava, he removes your ego also and gives you enlightenment. Shiva's energy expanded and destroyed the collective negativity of Daksha, which causes suffering for himself and for others. Many times, your pain, even though you know you are causing suffering to you and to others, but the pain pattern is so strong, you can't escape. I can see very clearly. So many people, they know if they are out of me, if they are away from me, they are going to create suffering for themselves. But their ego, arrogance is so strong, they can't live. They can't live around me. I have seen so many times, even devotees, they know if they listen to my teachings and live, they will be out of their sufferings and torture they are doing to themselves and to others. But they don't want. Daksha represents the negativity which causes suffering to yourself and to others. Shiva's energy which came out and destroyed the Daksha's negativity is Veerabhadra. Understand? Veerabhadra did not kill Daksha. He gave life back to Daksha. So this energy which destroys your negativity of giving suffering to yourself and to others is called Veerabhadra. If you connect with this divine energy and pray, feel connected, you will see in you also the pain body, the patterns which create suffering for yourself and others will be destroyed. It's a beautiful verse. Evam bahuvitaha yajnaha vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan viddidan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshase. Thus, worship of the divine energies is performed in various ways. In the beginning of expansion, understand that all of them originate in actions. Knowing this, you will be liberated. Same way, if you are frozen, closed, then start connecting with Krishna, who is doing Rasa Leela, who just opened himself to the whole universe. Understand? Krishna's Rasa Leela did not happen just with Gopikas. It happened with the plants, trees, rocks, Yamuna, whole thing was enjoyed by the whole existence. Gopikas were also happened to be there, that's all. It was not concentrated towards Gopikas. It was with the whole. So if you are frozen, having the sickening suffocation, many times people do have this sickening suffocation. Come on, then expand. It is time. You meditate on Rasa Leela Krishna. So each action of divine, each action of an incarnation becomes independent energy by itself. Shiva's one action, cutting Brahma's head and giving him enlightenment, it became an independent energy called Kala Bhairava. Shiva's one action of killing the negativity of Daksha, and liberating him from negativity and negative patterns, became independent of teaching in silence to Sanagadi rishis and giving them enlightenment, becomes Dakshinamurti. Just each action of divine becomes and married Meenakshi and ruled this Pandya kingdom. He became Sundara Pandya. That action became an independent energy of Sundara Pandya. Just yesterday, I was reading, I verified again and again. Earlier when I was seeing, I felt he has taken 3 bodies. Yesterday I saw he has taken more than 11 bodies. Only to play in and around Madurai. Please understand, in this way, no other geographical place is equivalent to Madurai. Where Shiva has taken 11 bodies to play just in Madurai. See, in one body he has played in many places. That record is there. When he assumed one body, he has gone to many places and did his leelas. In one body, doing leelas in 11 places, there are enough records. But 11 bodies to do leelas in one place, only in Madurai's history, the record is there. More than 11 bodies he has assumed at different times to play the leelas. The leela he performed, the first body he assumed to perform the leelas in Madurai is marrying Meenakshi. To marry Meenakshi and all the leelas related to that time, marrying Meenakshi and bringing Vaigai to Madurai, all those leelas were performed in one body. That body is directly under the Sundareshwara's linga, the main Garbha Mandir, under the Sundareshwara Linga, that body is resting. It is there in Jiva Samadhi. And second, he has assumed one more body to build embankment for Vaigai river and converting all the foxes into horse to save his disciple Manikya All those leelas, around 40 years he was in that body and performed many leelas. That body is resting in our property near Dinamani Takis. There is a place in Madurai, near Dinamani Takis, there is a Samadhi inside Madurai Adinam property. It is called Sundaranar Samadhi. And Sundarananda's Jiva Samadhi, people used to think it is one of the 18 Siddhas. It is not one of the, of course, it is one in the 18, but Shiva himself assumed the human body and performed. 40 years he was in that body. That body is resting in Madurai, the place Dinamani Takis, opposite to that Takis, there is a property, belongs to Madurai Adinam property. There he is resting. And the third body, which he assumed to give sugar can to stone elephant, and stone elephant ate that sugar can. For body, that is there inside the temple under the samadhi of, under the shrine of Ellamalla Sittar. Under his murti, that third body is there. Still, I am not able to trace the other places of the remaining 8 bodies. I could see cosmically where are they, but in the Madurai map I am not able to pinpoint where the remaining 8 bodies are. Soon I will study the Madurai map and overlap my cosmic map on Madurai map and give you guys the exact points where the bodies he assumed are resting and radiating. I tell you, if you see from this angle, no other place, even in Kailash, is only one body is resting. There are 1 lakh enlightened beings' bodies are resting. That is different. But his own, the body which he used, only one body is resting. In Varanasi, 2 bodies are resting. Even in Thiruvannamalai, only one body, Arunagiri Yogeshwara's body, only is resting. I was shocked when I read yesterday the Akashic records. 11 bodies he has assumed. I tell you, Madurai was his honeymoon place. It was his favorite. Somehow, Madurai people had a very close, hearty connection with Mahadeva. Even for small things, he will assume a body. Come here and play. This was the place where he was very playful and joyful, without any of the so-called social laws, regulations, rules. And the dharma which he himself created. Here, he has broken the laws he created as per the planets. He has changed the planets for Madurai people. He has changed the teachings for Madurai people. He has changed the social laws for Madurai people. He has broken all the moral rules for Madurai people. He has done everything possible. Socially accepted, unaccepted, legal, illegal, dharmic, adharmic. In which Shastra it is dharmic? You convert the wolves into horses and sell them, and after you sell and go away, all the fellows, they become overnight, they become again wolf and bite and kill all the remaining horses who are there. And that poor king is now pauper. In which dharma it is accepted? In which shastra it is accepted? He has done everything possible. He comes down as a worker for the old lady, saying that, see, once there was a flood, huge flood in Vaigai river, and king ordered all the citizens of Madurai should take up one portion and cover it with mud and build an embankment. So all of them have taken up one portion. One old lady, Vandi, her job is that making idli and puttu. Puttu is those days breakfast. She will make all these and sell for people. Still now, in Madurai, it is a very popular business. Go out in the night, you will see hundreds of shops. The outside street, they will be making these idlis and selling, breakfast and selling. It is still their tradition. Now it is called Kushbu idli. In those days, it's a tradition of Vandi. So she used to make this pittu and sell. Those days breakfast. She did not get anybody to cover her portion, and she herself can't do. She is too old. She prays to Sundareshwara. This whole city, still now, any problem, the only person they turn to is Sundareshwara. They don't trust anybody else. They just turn towards Sundareshwara. And she's the old lady. She can't get a worker to fill her portion, to do her job. She turns to Sundareshwara. Oh Chokkanada, Sundareshwara. This guy could have just one thought, the whole Vaigai would have had embankment automatically. He does not do that. He comes down, assuming human body and bargaining with that lady. You should give me the pittu as much as I want, but I will work only for 3 hours. He says, I will work only for 2 muhurta. 1 muhurta is 1.5 hours. I will work only for 2 muhurta, but you should give me as much as I want. This poor lady, she doesn't have anybody else. So she says, all right, go ahead. You can see what is puttu. Come on, show me. This is puttu. Those days breakfast. So she doesn't have anybody else. So no other option. She accepts the bargain. This fellow finally finishes eating everything she cooked. After that, it doesn't work. He goes there and lies down in that bed. So he goes and lies down in the banks of Vaigai. I also traced the palace he had in Vaigai, just in between, the mid of the water, and gamble. He will have all these bhutas around and they will play the dice. He will gamble with them. Finally, what is there? Finally, he will cheat all of them. And he was not a womanizer, but he used to drink and gamble. Anyhow, so he went and lied down in the bank of Vaigai. Parts have been covered except his portion, the Vandi's portion. King got very annoyed and asked whose portion it is. They said this is Vandi, old lady's portion. He asked, naturally she won't be able to do. Who is doing for her? They showed this guy has been employed by her, but from morning he is not doing anything, he is just lying there. So king calls him and asks, who are you? This fellow says, who are you? to ask me this. King says, I am the king of this Madurai. There was a strong argument. Finally, king was very angry and he took his sengol, the golden staff with which he rules the country, and gave a strong blow in the back of Sundareshwara. When that beating fell on Sundareshwara, when that stick fell on the Sundareshwara, at that same moment, he showed to the king, he is the Antaryami, himself had that beating. The whole cosmos, including the king, had the mark of that golden staff, scepter, golden scepter's mark, and king was shocked. There he sees Sundareshwara standing with Meenakshi and smiling. King realized who came to play in the form of a worker, and he fell at the feet of Sundareshwara, asked him to apologize. And Sundareshwara says, just because of Vandi's feeling connection, to please her, to eat her food, to enjoy her puttu, breakfast, I came and I enjoyed. He liberated, he gives enlightenment to Vandi and blesses the king and disappears. Till the end, he has not done his job. He did not do the job of building the embankment to the Vaigai. Casual leelas, not one or two, 64 leelas. God, I know for sure he would have done at least 64,000. And Paranjodi Munivar, the compiler, was able to collect only 64, representing all the 64,000s of leelas. The body with which he has performed this leela, foxes into horses, that season, around 40 years, he has performed some Adinam's property. I have taken the blessings of the 292nd Guruma Sannidhanam to build that into a beautiful, huge temple. You can see the scene of Sundareshwara coming and eating the puttu of Vandi, the old lady. This very land, he has taken 7